Hello, I'm Rico Cavella. Welcome to this episode of Fearless Aging. And the title of this segment is Your Body is Listening, the Power of Your Thoughts and Language. I really like this topic. This is such an important thing that we all need to be much more aware of our thoughts and our language. So this is going to be a real enlightening and really helpful segment. And our guest is David uh, Aganfus. After navigating major personal and professional transitions in his life, he now helps people who feel stuck, overwhelmed, or run down regain clarity, balance, and forward momentum. His work focuses on identifying underlying patterns that affect both emotional and physical well-being. So he helps people feel better and function at a higher level in their daily lives. So David, Ganfus, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here, Rico.
Yeah, I really like this topic because it's something that's so important to realize, and we all got to work on this. I'm always working on it, catching my thoughts and my language and all that. So before we get into all that, maybe just give us a real brief how you came to, really get into this topic and learn how you can help people with this.
It's been a 30-year journey, 35-year journey over time. So in reality, I've walked on fire with Tony Robbins and jumped off a telephone pole with him to get past my head. And with the journey, I started learning uh, more spiritual and more understanding of why we're here and how we can help ourselves. And the most recent one was when I started learning a healing technique, which reprograms people. And then we can also remove traumas and other issues with them on a quantum level. And so then, as I expanded that and went into a more quantum level, I realized how much our words and our beliefs and our programs are affecting our lives and our patterns of being stuck.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And just for our audience, and just in case you don't quite understand that, as we know from quantum physics, everything in the universe is energy, just vibrations of energy. Even our thoughts and our words are energy. So whatever we're saying about our life and what we're thinking, it's creating an energy, a force that's connecting with all the other energy. So it affects what's going on, our reality. Right?
That's true, and it's even more than that. So if you think about a puddle of water, so if you take a calm, still puddle of water or even a lake, and you throw a pebble or a rock into it, you see
Mm-hmm.
the ripples go out. But the ripples go out, and then they go back in, and then they go out, and they go back in. Now that's on the 3D level of where we are. Quantum wise, if you took a ball of water and you started putting pebbles and dropping them in all over. Now there's energy going all over the place. And that's the world we live in, is the quantum world. It's just that we are linear thinkers, so we only see things in a straight line or we categorize it in a box instead of looking beyond that. And I work on what I say all the time, but my friends and associates will go, what did you just say? I'm like, oh, then I'll take it back. Uh, but our words and our thoughts are those energy waves that go out and they come back to us. And that's why patterns keep on happening because we're bringing it back to us in the process.
Yeah, that's all about. That's one of the first things what really got me into the spiritual path was when I learned about how our beliefs and our thoughts and our words are creating our reality. So that's such an important concept to understand, isn't it? That what we're believing and thinking is creating our reality.
Well, when a child is born, they're programmed through their early years. They're basically like a computer getting all these downloads.
Hmm.
So, in fact, I've worked with people that have had trauma. And a quick story, when I had somebody working with me, there was trauma from when I was in my mother's womb. And I went to my mother and I said, what happened that caused so much trauma when you were carrying me?
Hmm.
And she had to think for 2 days. But then she realized that The tavern that my family owned was shut down for a month. The ABC came in and shut it down. And was a pregnant woman, young woman with a child, not knowing what income was coming in for a month. And it affected me.
Mhm.
And her thoughts and her fears and all that affected me until it was cleared out. So that's how much programming we actually get over the course of time. And if we want to change our position and we want to change what's going on with us, we have to really look within.
Yeah, that's so good. That's such an important thing. Okay, so well, let's talk a little bit about your program I know you help individuals and you also help, uh, spiritual healers and stuff who isn't it kind of true people that have some ability to help other people that can't. It's hard to end up helping your own self, right? So that's another important thing that you work on. But anyway, so let's talk a little bit about how some of your modalities and how you work with people and how you actually are able to help them release these energetic blocks.
Well, I use kinetic testing, kinesiology. So that's proven. And in reality, kinesiology's tapped into our subconscious unless we redirect it somewhere. So our subconscious knows what's going on with us. So asking questions of the subconscious, you can get the answers that you want. But
Yeah,
what happens?
I define a kinetic testing or like muscle testing. Define that in case our audience doesn't know exactly what that is.
It's muscle testing. So let's say you went to a nutritionist.
Mhm.
The nutritionist would use muscle testing to see if a vitamin or a food was good for you. And if it's not good for you, your muscle goes weak. And if
Mhm.
it is good for you, your muscle goes strong.
Mhm.
And then I use it in the yes and no answers and sometimes maybes.
Okay.
So it's the same type of thing. Um, and it's been proven in science that kinetic testing is accurate and a valid form of testing.
Yeah. So the concept is our bodies know what is good for us and what we need to know. But we just have to find more and more techniques for tapping into that knowledge that our body already has.
Correct, correct.
Okay.
And the thing that we really have to pay attention to is our bodies are listening to us.
Mhm.
Our bodies are always listening. So when you go out and you say, oh, this is going to be a terrible meeting,
Yeah.
okay, I can guarantee you it's pretty well going to be a terrible meeting.
Yeah.
If you say, I'm looking forward to this meeting, it's going to be a good meeting, it's going to be quick, and we'll get out early, it changes the dynamics of it.
Yeah.
Just like when you pick on yourself and yourself, why do you always do that? You call yourself an idiot. Um, they've tested water. There's a Japanese doctor who's tested water,
Uh-huh.
and they took pictures of it and with words. So if you said loving words, kind words, humble words, they turned into beautiful snowflakes.
Hmm.
And if you use negative words, it turns into something ugly when you look at it through a
Yeah.
microscope.
Yeah.
And our bodies are mostly water. So when you say something bad to somebody, or even with a child, and you're telling the child that they're no good, they're lazy, or whatever it is, their whole body's adapting to that energy that you're sending out.
Yeah.
Same thing with your body. If you or somebody else is talking to you that way, then your body's adapting to what's going on with the words. So your words are everything. And we don't talk to our bodies. We don't take control of our bodies. And the worst thing I hate is if a doctor gives you a diagnosis and you own
Yeah.
it. Don't ever own a diagnosis. Just prove them wrong and
Yeah.
set it in your mind you're going to prove them wrong. That's not my reality. My reality is this: I am healing. I can heal. I am healed. And if you put visualization and emotion behind it, it's even more powerful. That's why we put a lot of emotion in negative words. And with the negative words, we're locking it in with the emotion and thinking it and saying it at the same time. If we visualize the good, the positive, it'll bring that in. We actually have to project into our future. And in our future, we will see things changing based upon what we're expecting and what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's so good, David. I just want to add on that. I think, like, if you get a diagnosis, well, let's say you get a diagnosis that you have some form of cancer. So instead of saying I have cancer, just say to yourself, okay, I have some imbalance in my body that needs to be healed, and we're going to get our body back in balance, and it's going to heal it.
Right, right, exactly. And you need to be in touch with your higher self and with you call it intuition because most people understand what your intuition is. And men can have intuition just like women.
Hmm.
It's just sometimes a little easier for women due to thought patterns and all that. But if we tune into our intuition, it can create synchronicities in our life to bring us the answers that we want. So by getting the answers that we want, so let's say that doctor gave you a diagnosis of cancer. Now you need to have the synchronicities to bring you to the information you need to beat that and not just follow the protocols. Okay. And I'm not saying to ignore your doctor. Okay.
Hmm.
They're MDs, they're doctors. You have to make choices for yourself. But what I'm saying is that there's alternatives. And if you're talking to your cells, actually say to your body, I am healed. I am healthy. And you can actually say, Dear innate, from this moment on, I am healthy. And every cell in my body will regenerate. I like to say 35-year-old healthy cells. And I am in command. So be it. And say things like that to your body. Take command of it. There's a story I heard of a cook in a ship, and it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman cook, but we'll call the cook Woe, and Woe always worked in the galley, and did this job very very well. Okay, and one day Woe got a strong intuitive hit to go up on the deck and talk to the captain. He never met the captain before.
Hmm.
All right, so he goes up on the deck and there's nobody up there, and he sees that the ship is heading towards the rocks, and the ship's going to be just rocks when it gets there. Woe grabs the wheel and turns the ship. Well, that story's a metaphor. The ship is your body,
Hmm.
and Woe is all of us. And if we don't take control of the ship, it's just going to run amok based on all the outside influences. And if we take control of it, then it's going to change everything. And that's our words. Our words change everything in our lives.
Yeah, that's so good, David. Well, we're almost out of time. I know you have a nice gift for our audience. It's some affirmations and some things that you can say to yourself, like just what you've been talking about. You know, how to reprogram your subconscious for just all positive thoughts and affirmations that are going to help to serve you. So before we go, one last thing. Uh, so when somebody comes to you and you work with them, what is the what would you say the main thing that the technique that you help them with? Because it's one thing to understand what we just talked about, but then how to stay aware during your day so you actually are aware of these negative words and thoughts that you're doing.
The biggest thing is to catch yourself or with triggers. So if you can learn to catch your triggers that send you into those negative spirals and stop them and release them.
Oh, yeah.
And the first step of that is the free gift I have for your audience. It is a daily affirmation to say every day to connect you to your higher self, to start bringing in the synchronicities and start guiding you into the more positive life that everybody wants. You know, whether it be love or financial or health, we all have wants and needs, and they're very similar. And we need to be connected to find the smoothest path to get to it.
Yeah, very good, David. Well, thank you so much for that great information and thank you for your work. And I highly recommend to our audience to connect with you. We'll put all that information in the show description because this is such an important topic that still most people are just not really aware of that, you know, how much, as you've been talking, how much our words, our beliefs, our words, our thoughts are affecting us. So once again, you know, thank you, David, for being here. Thank you for your work and thanks to our audience.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.